Hi guys, Jane here, and today I'm going to talk about the differences between the book 101 Dalmatians and the Disney's animated movie 101 Dalmatians. Because we're doing a compare and contrast, be aware that there is going to be spoilers. So there's going to be spoilers for both the book and the movie. If you don't want to be spoiled, I'd come back after you read and watch the movie. I personally love 101 Dalmatians. It was one of my favorites growing up. I love dogs, so anything dogs I'm all about. I just read the book. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed the book too, although it does feel very dated. This version feels a lot more modern and is a lot easier, I think, to digest. My kids are 7 and they love this movie, but they were not able to handle the book. Even being read to, I tried reading it to them, and the language is very, very old. Also, I will say a lot of the ideas and values in this book are quite old as well. They feel dated. I believe this book was published in the 1950s, and you can kind of tell. Whereas this version is has a much more modern feeling in the values and ideas. Particularly, this book is very sexist, and I didn't get that impression the same way from the movie. It almost goes the opposite way. It almost jokes about some of the Pongo stuff and, the things we joke about, like the dad's being like, where did he ever hear that? Certainly not from his mother. Whereas the book is very like, the girl dogs are seen as very weak and as less intelligent, and Pongo's kind of the brains behind everything in the book. So let's talk about some big differences between the book and the movie. They start out quite differently. The book gives us a lot more background on the characters, but it also doesn't start with the meeting of the Dearlys. In the book, they're called the Dearlys. In the book, or in the movie, it's Roger and Anita. But their names are never mentioned, I don't believe, in the book at all. They're just called Mr. and Mrs. Dearly. So in the movie, we have a really cute meet scene where Pongo, convinces his pet Roger to go talk to this pretty girl who has a pretty Dalmatian dog with her. And, they end up in the water because the dogs are being ridiculous. And, then they end up married and living happily ever after. The book pretty much starts a little bit later. It starts like, hey, these newlywed couples are at their house now. In this movie, they have one housekeeper, cook, and its nanny. Whereas in this, there are 2 nannies. Mr. and Mrs. Dearly both had a nanny that came with them, nanny cook and nanny butler. And they take on the roles of cook and butler for the house. And I can understand why they combined them because they're not that important individually, but they both brought them from their homes. So you had one servant in the house who's, from his and one from hers. Whereas in this one, there's just the one nanny. Another thing that's a lot different. In this, the main characters are Pongo and Perdita, I believe, is the mama dog's name. In this book, it's Pongo and Mrs., and Perdita is brought in later. Mrs., the girl dog, has so many puppies she can't nurse them all, and so she's brought in as a substitute milker. She's found and she's, recently lost a group of puppies. She can't find them and she's still got milk, and so they have her feed half the puppies. So she's raising half of the puppies and Mrs. is raising the other half. When the dogs leave, it is Pongo and Mrs. that go on the journey and not Pongo and Perdita. Perdita stays home with the Dearlys and also with what at the end of the books makes up the 101 Dalmatians. For this, it's 99 puppies plus Pongo and Perdita. For this, it's 97 puppies plus Perdita and her husband, her doggy husband, and Pongo and the missus. So that's a quite a bit of difference in there too. Some other things. Cruella is a lot more developed in the book. And she's still really evil. But in this one, she's at least kind of portrayed as human. And in this one, they work really hard to portray her not only as terribly, terribly evil, but maybe not even human. She's always cold, she eats everything with insane amounts of pepper, and she tastes like pepper when the dogs try to bite her. Also, in the book, she's personally drowned kittens, so she's a terrible person. She also, in the book, is married to a furrer, and she's not just looking to have all these puppies to make a coat for herself, but she wants to start a Dalmatian coat factory. So she's not just looking to kill these puppies, she's looking to kill lots and lots and lots of Dalmatian puppies forever. Also, in the end of this book, or I'm sorry, in the movie, Cruella's not really, she gets hers, but she wrecks the car and stuff, and that's really all that happens to her. Whereas in this, in the book, her furs are all destroyed. The dogs go through the house and destroy all of her furs. And they destroy basically everything in the house and ruin her. And she has to move to a different country with her husband. Another thing that was different is there's a lot more focus in the book on the actual adventure of finding the puppies. Whereas in the movie, if I recall, there's not a lot about that. They kind of go and they find the puppies and they get them out of Cruella's place, and that's that. Whereas with the book, there's a lot more space for them to actually go on an adventure of finding the puppies, and it's a lot more drawn out. So a lot of that's condensed in the movie. I did enjoy the adventure in the book. And it was fun. It allowed for a lot of development between Pongo and Mrs. And I did have fun with reading it, but I can understand why for a short movie they'd need to take it out. Something I think the movie did better was the development of the puppies. I loved the different puppy characters in the movie. And in the book, most of the puppies are not very well developed. The puppy that gets the most attention is a puppy called Cadpig, which I think is the strangest name for a puppy. And I'm glad they didn't try to transfer that to the movie, because I don't know that anybody would have been okay with a Cadpig puppy. But in the book, they named this puppy Cadpig because I guess the runt of a pig litter is called a Cadpig, and this is the runt of their litter. And she's the weakest puppy, and so they're always having to kind of accommodate her. And the adventure just takes a lot longer in the book than in the movie. In the movie, it's made a lot quicker. Another character that was really changed from the book to the movie is Sergeant Tibbs, I believe. In the book, he's Lieutenant Tibbs, or she is Lieutenant Tibbs, but I believe in the movie, and I haven't rewatched it, I probably should have before I made this, but I've watched it so much in my life that I don't wanna. I'm pretty sure his name is Sergeant Tibbs, and he's a boy in the movie. It's the kitty. That's friends with the colonel that helps him get the puppies. In this one, she's a girl cat named Pussy Willow, who's Lieutenant Tibbs. And the colonel bestows a lot of the titles, including sergeant, on one of the puppies, the bravest puppy. And I can't remember. I think it might be Patch. It might be Patch or Lucky. One of the puppies from the book and the movie is in here. It might be Lucky. And he plays kind of a big role, too, as far as being like the strongest, most forward puppy. But like I said, a lot of the puppies didn't get very well developed in the book, and they're more prominent in the movie. Let me see if I have any other notes. The endings are also a bit different. I did mention, obviously, the differences in the puppy numbers and the adult dogs versus these two. In the book, after we decide that we need a puppy plant, or a puppy farm, not a puppy farm, a Dalmatian plantation, basically. They moved to the old Cruella de Vil place, and which is kind of like a funny, ironic thing. So they end up buying Cruella's old place. I should also mention, in the movie, Roger is poor and he's a musician. In the book, he's not. He's actually fairly well, Mr. Dearly is very well off. He's an accountant and he doesn't have to pay taxes. And so they're actually living a pretty nice life. So there's none of the money worries that happen that would cause him to be a musician. The musician thing is not in here at all. Which, you know, we had to have the Cruella de Vil song, so there had to be a good reason. But yeah, he's wealthy throughout this whole book, and, you know, he's poor. Roger, Mr. Dearly, is poor in the movie, but in the book he's well off. I think the other thing is just in the book, obviously because it is a book and it's longer, there's more characters and time to develop them. This is a much more simplified version of the story. They are both different. I really enjoy them both. I do think I like the movie a little bit better. If for no other reason than it is simplified, the characters are a little bit more developed, and you don't have the same sexist stuff in the movie that is in the book. Like in the book, there's a scene where Mrs. doesn't know left from right, and they're trying to explain it to her, and she's made to sound really stupid. And you kind of get the feeling throughout the whole book that they think that the males are superior. And the sexism in this book did bother me a lot. So I liked the adventure in the book more, but I liked how modern the movie was. So I think those are the main changes that were important. I do recommend reading the book if you enjoy the movie, because they are very similar. They're not so different that I would say, oh, don't bother. This was a really cool thing to read, to see the source material on the movie. But yeah, I enjoyed both of them. And if you liked one, you'll probably like the other too. Just expect them to be a little different and expect the book to feel dated. All right, guys. I'd love to hear your opinions. Have you read the book? How did you feel about the book versus the movie? I post videos Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and sometimes Saturdays as a bonus. My social media is down there, and so is the like and subscribe button. This is Jane. I'll see you next time. Bye.